Perfect. So if you're ready, I'm ready to start.
All right. Am I on a tilt?
Oh, you're good. You're good,
All
trust
right.
me.
All right, good.
Hey, so welcome to Beyond the Game Mind and Body podcast, where we explore this podcast is about real connections, about life, growth, and everything in between. I started this show because I truly believe that strength isn't about what we do outside, but what we do on the inside. Sports, success, mental health, faith, discipline, purpose, those are all things that shape us, and I wanted to create a space where we could talk about it openly. Every
Absolutely.
episode, I sit down with a special guest to dive into their story, their perspective, and their lessons learned along the way. The goal isn't just to talk, it's to connect, to inspire, and to remind people listening that no matter where you come from or what you've been through, you're not alone in the journey. So, today I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me, for bringing your time, your energy, and your story to this space. It means a lot, not just to me, but everyone who's going to hear this conversation and walk away with something they can hold on to. So, thank you for
Thank
joining
you for
me.
having me. Yeah,
If you want to just start off by giving a little about yourself.
sure. So my name is Michael Dubuc. I live in Rhode Island. I'm an actor. I've been acting for about, well, actually, to be honest, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is we're all actors, and that's one of the things that you learn when you decide to pursue a career in the arts, whether it be a painter or an actor or a musician. Um, Being an actor, what you're doing is you're essentially telling a story on screen, on stage. You're connecting with other human beings. Um, but more or less, you're telling a story, and we're all humans. So my story, although it may be different from yours, we're both humans. We both experience pain, loss, challenges, love, success, failure, victory. So I think one of the things I've learned is that there's no different between someone that's in a movie and then a random person walking down the street. That person just happens to be able to calm their nervous system down enough to be present on screen and to present a realistic version of humanity that maybe the person walking down the street doesn't have access to. Fear, love, hope, those are all emotions that we all feel. Being able to tell a story using those emotions, that's a skill. So, but I did I went to URI. I was an acting major. I double majored in acting and communications. Um, I thought I wanted to be Matt Lauer. I thought I wanted to do, I'll be on screen, but maybe I'll do it in a more organized fashion rather than acting. But I found out very quickly that being on camera and the magic of the movies, I needed it. I needed to be a part of it. And I know how powerful it was for me and how it impacted my life. So being able to give that back, because right now there's probably like a 10-year-old kid somewhere maybe watching this or that's looking up to another actor that how could I do that? Or I have those feelings as well. What can I do to be a part of it? And there's acting classes. I've taken a lot of acting classes, some in California, some in Boston. Um, but yeah, I did get an acting degree. Um, and then I did a few plays in South Kingstown. There's like a community theater right near URI where I did some plays, and I learned. Although the plays can be very powerful, I realized, and this takes a lot of soul searching to some degree to figure out, do you want to be on stage or do you want to do it in front of the camera? I think one of the things that during my acting classes at URI, uh, I learned that I'm more stage actors project and they're not that I don't project, but maybe I'm more I'm more naturalistic and uh that kind of translates better to film. Although both are being being an acting major, you take classes that like I would take Shakespeare class. Now, if you're just if you don't have a theater degree and you uh audition, sometimes some of the auditions can be very challenging because it requires you to maybe cry or laugh or have heightened emotions. Shakespeare does all that. One of the things that I learned from Shakespeare is that you should be exhausted after doing the thing about Romeo and Juliet, for example. Romeo, it's not just like a yeah, I kind of like this girl. He would die for a person. And like all Shakespearean plays, it's like you're so heightened. It's life or death. Whereas the average person walking down the street doesn't experience maybe like life or death. And I think having that training uh definitely allowed me, if you think of it like a painter, I had more colors in my palette, which that's that's part of being a good actor. Laughter, joy, sadness, heartache. If you can paint using all those, you're able to tell a better story, you know, because as like I said, we all experience all those. And actors just have an ability to tell a story, calming their own emotions down enough to have access to whatever the story might require them to do. And then shortly after that, do you have anything you wanted to jump in on or anything, or is my yeah? Um, Around 2012, they were filming Grown Ups 2 in um in the middle of Massachusetts. It was like Swampscott. I don't even know if people know. It's like a random town in Massachusetts. Um, they were filming that in the middle of Massachusetts, and they were looking for frat guys for some of the scenes. So I sent them my headshot, and they called me and said, "Can you come to Massachusetts for a fitting?" They gave me two different wardrobes. One was like a shirtless look with like orange shorts, orange hat, um, glasses, and then one was like a frat guy shirt, the little like fraternity look. And they said, "We're gonna photograph you in both of them, send them to Adam Sandler and his production team, and he'll choose which one, what you're gonna wear." Uh, on the day they didn't tell me until the day of, but on the day of they said you're gonna be in the shirtless look. So here you are, you know, I was 20, 22 at the time. Um, you gotta be shirtless all summer in an Adam Sandler movie. I remember I worked out so much. I ate so much chicken, and like, I knew that this film is going to last forever. How I look in this film is very important. Also, Taylor Lautner was one of the other frat guys. He was just coming off of Twilight. Thought I better I better rise up to the challenge. I seriously remember I would when you're in a film they have food provided for you. It's not always the best nutrition food. So I would grill I would grill pounds of chicken. And I didn't even have usually like, you know, I would people do like chicken, sweet potatoes and greens. I just had I had a tub of chicken like a warrior. And I would bring it to set and I people would be like, dude, they literally have like endless food here, like you know, like granola bars or crackers or all stuff like that. But I was like I was so dedicated to looking a certain way. Um, and I looking back upon it now, I look good. And I was like, that was I think about my dedication to because I would be filming for 13 hours, come back home, open the grill, grilling chicken at midnight, Tupperwaring it up and bringing it to set. I was, in fact, this is a funny story. The next year, I lived in Los Angeles for a year. I was on the set of a movie, and a guy was giving me a weird look, and I was like, what's up?" And he goes, "Dude, you look just like this guy. We filmed the movie in Massachusetts last summer. There was this guy that looked just like you that would bring a Tupperware chicken to." I'm like, "Dude, that was me." They're like, "What are you doing in LA?" I'm like, "I moved out." So it's like, it was such a crazy moment. The fact that that impact of chicken on set had on the guys. Um, so yeah, so I did that summer 2012, and then winter 2012, I they needed stockbroker guys for the Wolf of Wall Street. And again, sent them my headshot. They wanted, like, guys that look like, full head of hair, very stockbrokerish. Sent it in. Luckily, I was chosen. And yeah, I went to New York. It wasn't New York City, it was like a little bit more northern. Um, did that for about 3 to 4 days. And I was talking with someone about this last night. They were like, "I don't know how you're around celebrities. I would be so nervous." And I was like, it's one thing to be around them. I have to, like, work. I can't be like, "Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio." You have to show up with them. Um, so I was when you don't have any, like, in that movie, I didn't have any lines. I was just kind of like a stockbroker that was walking around the office in a lot of different scenes. My first day, they said, "Okay, Michael, stand right here." And then two seconds later, Leonardo DiCaprio was placed. Like, that was his starting mark for the scene. That was like he was walking in the office. So here you are, you're in Rhode Island at the gym. Next day, you're in New York next to Leonardo DiCaprio, and you're like, how is this? I've had so many moments in my life where it's like, how did this, how did this moment happen? And the answer I always come back to is you you hit send. You have the courage to send your headshot in. If there's one thing that I can teach anyone, is that you have a 0% chance of victory if you don't hit send. You could say, it's not going to be me. There's probably, I mean, realistically, for grown-ups too, for example, there was like 15 frat guys. There could have been 1,500 people that sent their picture in. Now, again, that is the thing that we don't have control over as actors. You hit send, and the casting people could have been like, "You were perfect, but we wanted a guy with blonde hair. You were perfect. We wanted, an African American or a Chinese guy because we have so many." So, but that's not up to my control. You control what you can control, be the best, submit, take acting classes, become your best. And that there's many things you can't, but the things that you can, that's what you worry about. And that's what you commit to. And that's what you have to tell yourself every day, is that every opportunity that comes my way, if you think about, there's 10,000 other guys submitting, what are my chances? That's not a healthy, that would make me think about all the things I can't control, which doesn't, if I'm not gonna, I can't worry about that. That's like worrying about the weather. You can prepare for rain, you can prepare for sun, uh, you hope for sun, but you're ready for whatever happens, and know that it's not personal. If someone doesn't pick me for something because I'm a blonde, am I gonna, like, you can cry, but eh, it's not your fault that you're not blonde, so it's those are the parts of the industry that I think are certainly hard to understand, because I mean, in any other job, if you apply to be an accountant, and the guy goes, "Your resume is good, references are impeccable, but you're blonde," they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" What does that have to do? Like, that's why I didn't get, like, it's so subjective, and sometimes for your benefit, sometimes for your, what's the opposite of benefit? I'm not sure. Detriment, I think that's the word. Um, yeah. And so. And ever since then, I have been auditioning for films in Rhode Island, New York, California. Also, I mean, we're doing this on Zoom right now. This changed everything. I can now audition for anything from my house. If it was 1984 and you wanted to be an actor or acted, if there was a Nike audition or a Jurassic Park audition, you would have to go to California. So I don't even know. Imagine right now if I had an audition tomorrow and I had to fly to I pay for it. Fly to California for 20 minutes. That would, I mean, that's why that's why they moved to California. Now the game is so different. The game is completely different. You can audition here, you book the job, you go to wherever, Chicago, New York, California. So it's good, but also now the doors are wide open because now literally every human being can be an actor. So or has the opportunity to, and that's good and bad. Um, Also, I have a ring light right here. Actors now have to have their own studio in their house, which is interesting. Um, I have some friends in California, and I visited them in May. Um, and they have like a legit actor. They got big lights, a neutral background. And some people have like like in school, like a pull down. So you want blue, you want green, you want. So it's forced us to make make our home like an acting studio. But again, that con like is way less than having to drive. Because how could I audition? In fact, here's a great story. I think this is any actor or anyone listening to this right now. This story is probably the best example of how the industry is so unique. In May, the first week of May, I had to go to Los Angeles for a premiere of a pilot episode of a show that I acted in last year. While I was out there, I got a call from a casting company in Boston. They never call. They would email what to call like if they wanted to give me an opportunity, they email, hey Michael, here's an audition for a Geico commercial or whatever. They called me. I was in Los Angeles. I picked up the phone and said, hey, yep, okay. Hey, Michael, um, we have this audition that we think you'd be perfect for. Now, again, they would email. Oh, I don't know why they're calling. I was like, okay. If there's any way you could get it to us by 3 o'clock, um, that would be great. And I'm like, oh, her name is Michaela. I was like, Michaela, I'm in Los Angeles right now. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to audition. She goes, okay, well, I will send you the script and let us know if you can audition. I was like, okay, what's the part? It's for a commercial. It's a glasses commercial. You'd be auditioning for the guy like Beach Dude. That was the Beach Dude. Okay, it pays $2,000 or whatever. Okay, thank you. I hung up the phone. I opened up my email and it said Beach Dude. Now again, like I just said, when I audition, I have a setup for me to just hold up my phone like that. It would be like this guy, no experience or looks like he's not taking it professionally, not taking it seriously. So I looked at the audition and I said, Beach Dude. Okay, I'm in Los Angeles. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drive to Venice Beach because in the audition, the guy was laying on the beach, and that's where he was giving the dialogue. So I drove to the beach and I auditioned. Now I'm very aware that they're gonna be like, dude, what do you use your be like do it? Don't go to the beach. That's not what. If you're auditioning for like a canoe commercial, you don't have to go to like that's a way to. So, but I was like, what? I have no other option. I don't have. So I laid on the beach. I found like some sand and I recorded it like this. Sent it to the casting people. They sent it to the client. The client is like the people that, like if it's Geico, they send it to Geico or whatever. 2 days later, I'm still in Los Angeles. Um, I get an email saying, Michael, the director really liked you. You are on hold for that. On hold means it's down to like the top five. I'm like, I, I did it on the beach. Like I thought they'd be like, dude, what are you doing? So and then I came back to Rhode Island. I was on the elliptical at the gym. Email, Michael, you are booked for this job. The client booked you. Now, I was like, no, again, I was in Los Angeles and Boston called me. Now, you would think, like, when you go to LA, you think that's where the action is. And it is. But then Boston gave me an opportunity. My audition, I would have not filmed the audition on any beach here. I filmed it on that beach. The guy said that's why he chose me. Like so think of that. So that's the universe telling you you're on the right track, right? There's no everything was against like I did everything bizarrely, and it was just a unique opportunity that now again, like I just said, if they said, Michael, I'm in LA, we need an audition by today, how could I have without the if I had to drive if I had to go to Boston, I would have missed out on that opportunity. So the gates are more open and more accessible for and that was an example of where it's definitely my benefit. So yeah, that was May this year, and I was like, this is and that commercial um will be on TV, I believe, in January or February, like on so that's interesting things happen. Um and else you want to dive into or any other you want to your I can't hear your audio. I don't know what.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there it is. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What inspired you to pursue acting growing up in Rhode Island?
Movies. And that's the only I knew how I felt when I watched a movie. And I wanted to give that to somebody else. And I guess I seem to have a lot of I'm very like sensitive, I feel, and I think that translates well to being able to tell a story. Like I cry a lot and laugh a lot and I feel things so deeply, and I think that certainly helps. But yeah, for sure movies. In fact, I mean I never took a lot of kids take like dance class or like acting class and all. I never really did anything in acting until I was 16. I did a play at East Greenwich High School. Um, and again, that feeling, ooh, I played sports. This was different than shooting a basketball. I mean, you're in front of people. I was like, I never made anyone laugh playing basketball. I mean, more or less, I knew, but um, being able to tell a story or make other people feel something from a story, that that's amazing. On a
It,
Friday night when someone has had a hard week, putting on a movie and this takes you to a different place. It makes you laugh, cry, feel scared, uh, nervous, love, passion, all those things that make us feel more connected as human beings.
was that the moment you realized this is what I'm meant to do? Was that play?
Yes. I think it was. I think it because again, when I was 16, so when I was a junior, that was the transition of like I didn't try out for the basketball team because I was doing acting. And I remember like my Spanish teacher, who was a coach, was like, "What are you what are you doing? Well, why didn't you try out?" It's like I'm kind of doing this play. And I mean, he was supportive, but it was I show I didn't have any history of it was like, that's random. And then like after I did that play, my senior year, I hosted the talent show. Never hosted anything before. My presence on stage almost opened up something inside of me that said that courage and that feeling. It's almost like you're chasing a feeling, to be honest with you. When you're on stage and you got 100, 200 people looking at you, it's tough to, like a lot of like rock stars will say that. Like if you got 50,000 people clapping, then you go home to your hotel room. That's tough to that it must be super challenging for them to. But yeah, I like being on stage at your high school. You're 16 years old. You're trying to find out who you are. That was yeah, that was super super impactful. I made someone laugh. How did I do that? By being me. It wasn't that's almost find your power in that moment. And that's I feel like that's what we all hope to do is find that thing that when you're meant to serve in this way. Um, some people cook, some people, work on cars, some people decorate, some people, you know, engineers. I found that telling a story through film is how and I enjoy it. That's also the number. You enjoy it, so the challenges along the way don't feel that hard because you go, this is, I'll do it. When you're in a movie, you're on set for like 15 hours a day, sometimes in the cold. I mean, actually, I actually I had a speaking part in a movie yesterday with Misha Barton in Bristol. Um, Misha Barton, for anyone who doesn't know, she was in the OC years ago. Just, 2003 or four. She had like the number one show on. Or actually 2005 or six, whatever. Um, it was in Bristol. I had to be in Bristol at 7 a.m. It's pretty cold in Bristol, but that the shiveringness, you're like, I'm gonna take this hit because I know that this is gonna being a part of the story is not only meaningful to me, but I'm part of the story. And who knows what person watches this movie when it comes out and is impacted by it. And then that's it's all in service. It's if I've learned, I told you the first thing I learned is that we're all actors. Number two thing is I create to serve. I create. It doesn't matter when I'm on stage. If I think I'm funny, that's all ego. Doesn't make. If someone else laughs, interesting. That's the whole game. Like that's the you you don't create. I mean, I guess you. I don't. Would you make a piece of art for yourself to look at? Kind of selfish and kind of. But when you're in service of it, when you're in service of another person, of humanity, of people, that feeling is there's nothing like it. That's what we're meant to do, I feel like, is serve other people. And being an actor, just how I found that that's my way of service. That it really is. That's what it comes down to. And there's that moment of being on stage. I was also in a movie last year, and I remember it's like the premiere of the movie. It was in Providence on Thayer Street, and this packed audience. I sat in the back, and the audience was laughing at things that I didn't know that they were going to laugh at. And I'm like, wow. I'm like that making them laugh. That's all. That's why I was funny. It wasn't for me to think I'm funny, and I think that takes a long time that takes a little bit of maturity to understand that we are serving other people. As an actor, I'm servicing the script. I'm not going to say whatever I want. Some guy is writing a movie about, a hamburger or whatever, and It'd be a strange movie. But my job is to meet the writing of the script to tell the story. I'm not gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to, if when you're on set, it's like how what did that meet what you wanted? Because the writer and the director, that's who it's their call, So it's all service, just like anything else. Oh, the sound. Strange, it's still off. That's weird. No, still. Uh,
There we go.
there it is.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know why it's acting weird right now.
that's it.
I got about 15, 20 questions to ask you right now.
You got it.
So what was your first big break in the industry and how did that change things for you?
Uh, for sure it was Grown Ups too, and I it changed things for me because I realized that um that's such a good question. I realized that if I don't submit, my chance of victory is zero. Like I said, what if 15,000 people applied? That opened up something in my brain where I was like, it could be me. And that's so powerful. Like whether you're an athlete, if you're like, there's no way. I don't believe in there's no there's a way, and it's
Hmm.
happened. How did that happen?
I love that.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for roles mentally, physically, and emotionally?
Um, the gym, the gym for me, um, gets my mind and body ready for whatever the day throws at me. Even
Hmm.
if I have to, like, I had to be in Bristol yesterday at 7 a.m. So I had to leave here pretty early. But I woke up in time to exercise, this warm up my body because I think the mind and body are sure connected. And if my
Hmm.
body is fatigued or out of balance, my emotions will be out of balance. And like we just said, being an actor is so emotional. So you need to,
Right.
yeah, mind and body are so connected. So yeah, the gym for me is like my palace. So
What's one role you'd like to play someday?
if they ever remake The Breakfast Club, I would like to
Okay.
play John Bender.
Okay.
In a set, I would love to.
I love that movie. It's a
Yeah,
big, good classic.
good class. Yeah.
So acting is full of uncertainty. How do you stay grounded through rejection or slow seasons?
Um, my daughter. I have a daughter, and I think that uh having her in my life teaches me that no matter what happens, having her is all that really matters, and
Hmm.
that any acting opportunity is just, icing on the cake. She's the reason why I do all this, and she that's really all that matters. Having a healthy child, I feel like and then having that as a base allows you to, if you're an actor and you're like, if I don't get this role, I'm useless.
Yeah.
That's something I've learned. If you have one audition and you say, if I don't book this job, I have no value. I'm bad. I'm gonna cry. I'm tying my self-worth to an acting job. You learn when you're first starting out, you do. You go for an audition. Unfortunately, no, you're sad and you say, I'm bad. I don't know if this is for you have to have a full life, a full
Mhm.
palette of other. If all you do, it sounds strange because a lot of times people go, you're gonna be all in. If
Yep.
you like, if all I did was acting, and like you just said, if I didn't get something, that would mean that I would have no other place to serve. But like being a father, boyfriend, son, family, like all those things. That's also who I am.
Yeah.
So when those times do come, relying on that,
Ex-
that's how you get through.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
when I started this podcast, I couldn't get anyone. It was hard reaching out to people, and I was like, "What am I doing?" But then kept doing it, kept going through it, and people just kept coming and coming and coming. And
Yeah.
now look at
It,
it, it's going.
it's going, and think about this. What's your reasoning behind it? Your someone is going to hear
Yep.
this episode, another episode, and if they learn one thing, if one person learns one thing, you succeeded.
Yep.
We're not talking for like, I mean, we are, but like
Yeah. To share their story so someone's influenced by it.
100%. Yeah, I love it, man. It's so good.
What's the biggest challenge you faced in your acting career, and how did you push through it?
It almost goes back to the last question. Sometimes amazing opportunities come up,
Hmm.
and you give it your all, and I'm almost contradicting myself, but when you don't get it, it's very challenging to, like, for example, last year, I'm not sure if the audience knows this movie. It's coming out on Christmas this year. It's called Marty Supreme. It's Timothy Chalamet uh is like a ping pong player. It's like set in the 1950s.
Hmm.
But last year I had an audition for it. Now, I don't even have an agent. How there's certain databases where actors can go to look for auditions. They create their headshot, their resume, and casting people can find you. But for like the big movies, they would go to known people. For some reason, I got an audition for this movie, and I remember I was like, this is incredible. How did this come to me? I mean, that's universe. Who knows what?
Hmm.
It was my time. Who knows? And I auditioned for it, and it was a very long audition. In the notes, it said, "Do not film this audition like an actor in a studio." No audition ever says that. They
Yeah.
say film it, make sure it looks professional. They wanted it literally said, we do not want this to feel like an actor is auditioning. So you're like, geez, all right. So I looked the part. I got my hair done a certain way, bought new wardrobe, spent money. I mean, that spent money on essentially a job interview. But again, what did I say when I first got on? There's so many things I can't control. This is what I could. I'll spend money on the wardrobe, get my hair to look a certain way. Uh, whatever I can control, I'm gonna do. So I auditioned for that. I didn't get it, but yeah, when amazing opportunities come, you're like, whoa. But then when you don't get it, it's you have to, again, that's why you have your family, your
Yep.
friends, and the gym, your body, your mind. If I was like, oh, I'm just gonna lie and cry because this is my whole life. That is an option. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Many people probably do that. There are
Hmm.
probably many people, non-actor, that what their job. If I don't get X, if I post something on social media and it gets one like, I am bad. Tying your self-worth to uncontrollable things, that means your self-worth is uncontrollable. So it's like
Yeah.
you have to be able to look in the mirror and say, why am I doing this? And a perfect example is this podcast right now. It is to teach, to inspire, to help people grow, to inform, some entertainment. Um, but yeah, knowing your why is so important. So important. If it's for dollars, you'll do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But yeah, probably that. Like when a important opportunity comes up, being okay with whatever happens and knowing that
Mhm.
it's all part of the universe's plan for you, and that's But in the moment, you want to cry.
Yeah.
You're confused. You're like, why would this have come to me if I didn't,
Do you prefer dramatic roles, comedy roles, or something in between, and why?
I think something in between. And also going back to one of the first things I said, life isn't all comedy and life isn't all drama. I think when you watch a really good movie,
See bits of everything.
you see bits of everything. Yeah, like no human being is all evil. In
Hmm.
the movies, like Darth Vader, like he's bad, but like every every human being has light and darkness. It's just what we choose to act upon. I think that's from Harry Potter. So
What's the process of building a character from scratch?
step one is no matter what the character, if the character is does cruel things, you can't think you're bad. Bad guys in movies don't think they're bad. So if I have a script and it says kills 20 people, oh, this guy's bad. Now, again, in society, yes, but if I'm being him, I have to love that character.
Hmm.
And I think that that's an interesting because so if you're playing someone like this guy's terrible, which of course those feelings are going to come into your, but to be really great, um, you have to like you have to like the person that you're playing, or at least understand them,
Yeah.
empathy. Um, but yeah, it starts there. I get a lot of I get a lot of power from the wardrobe, actually. If you're playing a farmer, you put on a flannel shirt and a hat, and you're like, I think I'm closer to being sometimes the physicality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And also like going to the location, like if you're farmer and you go and you're in a city, you're like, huh. But if you're on a ranch, you're like, wow. Sometimes with location comes a new sense of, oh, that's why my boots would be dirty because I'm walking around dirt all day, or that's why I would eat this way. I don't have access to green
Yeah.
smoothies. It's just eggs and chicken.
You're like, get me a tractor.
Yeah.
Do you ever draw from personal experiences for emotional scenes?
All the time. All the time. Yeah. Um, it has to, the more you can make it real, the better the performance is. And again, that takes calming down of your nervous system
Mhm.
in order to have access to if I'm talking to someone about, someone's grandmother dying, um, and in your life, you can't wait for the Patriots to come on. It really, I mean, if you think of that, like if you just found $1 million and then in 20 minutes you have to act like you just lost your leg in the war. You gotta you have to lock you have to that's why like a lot of actors like they go back to their trailer. Sometimes in the media they'll be like, oh, they're being a diva, or it's because you have to be so connected and disconnected from other things that
Mhm.
you have to lock in. But yeah, if I for sure uh use personal experiences because the more it'll look truer
Yeah.
if when you have to cry, or you don't ever have to cry, but if the scene brings you to a place, it's so real when you can have access to that feeling from the inside rather than just it's like, he's sad,
Yeah.
I think, so yeah,
How do you,
I think it would help.
how do you recover after those intense roles? Emotional roles, I mean.
I probably Seinfeld. You watch Seinfeld. Also, the gym for me. Like
Yeah.
the exercising for me is like a mental, emotional, and physical cleansing of the palate and reset. And I think that can. I had to last year I had to film something where I had to tell my girlfriend that my father passed away, and not in real life, but in the
Mhm.
pilot, in the show. And I had to recall um all the times that my dad in the show that, he did this for me, he did that. And, in that moment, I was thinking about my own father and how what that would feel like. And then you're like, man, this is thinking about your father passing away for 15 hours. That's like,
Yeah.
I had to feel that because that's what
Hmm.
you can't be like, Mike, snap out of it. Life is good. That's the weird thing about acting is like, if someone's like, I'm a pretty positive person. And when I was first taking acting classes, I didn't have access to such not negative, but like not so happy emotions. And it
Yeah.
takes time to practice being sad or practice being not so. So yeah, that's it. And just like sports, the more you practice, and again, it's a weird thing to practice. Not you. Why would you want to practice to be? You could
Yeah.
practice to punt a field goal, like just for growth. If someone's like, "Why you're sad?" I gotta be. Like I'm
Hmm.
thinking about all the sad things in life. Why? Well, because it's for this
Yeah.
this part that's it's gonna look good, but then I gotta yeah, but definitely the gym,
Hmm.
watching funny things. Seinfeld for me is for sure like a
Okay.
big thing.
What's the most meaningful feedback you ever received from a director or a castmate?
Um, um, Great question. One time I one time I took an acting class and I was working on a scene. For the acting class, the teacher said, bring in a scene that you're having trouble on, or whatever you want. And I brought in the scene from this thing where my father passed away, and I had to tell my girlfriend about him, all this. And I was acting bad. This sounds weird, but like I know the scene required me to be sad, so like I was kind of being phony, which some actors do. Like they kind of like acted sad.
Hmm.
There's a difference between act, and I remember the teacher looked at me and she said, uh, "What's the purpose of your words?" And that's a very important thing to think about when why are you saying what you're saying? In the scene, I was trying to communicate to my girlfriend that although, my father passed away and that like I have a crazy life, all this stuff, it's okay to be my girlfriend. And the teacher's like, I wouldn't feel safe being your girlfriend after you saying it like that.
Yeah.
So, there's the words, and then there's like, actually, why are you saying that? And
Hmm.
that was super. There's no, oftentimes like this is the sad part of the movie. You have to get out. It's all about why are you saying what you're saying. And if you don't need to say anything, don't say anything.
Oh,
Yeah, that was really good. Rather than like, I think this is the part where I have to be. I think this is the part where I'm sad because she's gonna leave me. There's no act, like don't act like I actually
yeah.
have a book over here, and the forward is written by Jack Nicholson, and the title of the book is called "No Acting, Please." If you're good, it shouldn't be like Michael is doing such a good job acting sad. No, 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 no. It should be this guy's sad. Like
Hmm. I like that.
yeah.
Five more questions for you.
Okay.
What drives you to keep going in such a competitive industry?
I think the power of movies, the power of cinema, knowing that one day. And maybe I've already made something that has made someone laugh or cry, and that echo or ripple effect that can have on society, I think it's worth it's worth the fight, you know,
What do you want people to feel when they watch your work?
inspired, without question. Yeah, inspired.
How do you hope to impact the next generation of actors?
I come from the smallest town in the smallest state. Anything is possible. And I have no one in my family can't even spell acting. I have no history of connections to Los Angeles, no opportunities that were given to me. If I can do it, literally anyone can. And I think that's again, I mean, I know I didn't star in Grown Ups too, but it was a pretty fun and cool
Yeah.
opportunity. And all I did was take a picture of myself and send it to them. Having that courage and almost blind optimism is why that 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 set the tone for my life.
Hmm.
I'm gonna submit to anything. I never say there's no way. There's 100% a way. It could be you, could be me. And
I love that.
that opens it up, right? Like when someone's like, I don't know if your shots are slim. Yeah, what about that glasses commercial? I was literally in how did that so if I was go back into that story, if I was like, sorry, I'm not gonna audition. I'm literally walking around California. I didn't come to California to audition for Boston. I came for something else. I don't even know if I have the right clothes. I drove to the beach. I think I was wearing the same shirt. So I always say yes. Who knows? Who knows? So that's
Yep.
yeah.
If you could give yourself one piece of advice about your journey ahead, what would it be?
Focus on being the best actor you can be and worry less about the noise of social media. Don't don't look like an actor, be an actor. And I think I feel like that's a whole nother podcast, is social media and are you famous or are you just wearing if you look at so everyone looks famous.
Hmm.
Sometimes I think of that. Like yeah, everyone looks great. Everyone looks I find this is like a separate thing, but I find that my mental health is so much better when I don't use social media at all. And I know some people like take time off. It's definitely a part of the business, meaning in terms of connection.
Yep.
But
Social media is a big thing that's ruining the society. A lot of
I
people's mental health.
yeah, social comparison. Um, yeah, always posting our greatest hits. Um, yeah, I mean, and I'll post pictures of me on set. I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
I kind of I feel as though I do my best to limit it to things that can help people or
Yep.
inspire people or um so some stuff with my daughter. But even that, you know, again, going back to the why are you posting that? For you to be self-congr so some and I've done it and I sometimes I'll delete the like if I post something it's serving that if if I post that I won $1 million, dude,
Yeah.
if I helped someone in the hospital, yeah, I oftentimes like I feel like that's my mentality when I post why for you so that people will go, dude, that's great. There's nobody else can fill up my bucket. It has to come from me,
Yep.
my own self-value. Because if I did that, no, if I have no acting jobs, that means I have no value, which that's not
Yep.
true. You know, so
Yep.
that yeah,
But
social media is interesting.
that's why when I post, I might not get the comments, I might not get the likes, but it's hopefully changing someone's life. And I remember the first time I ever posted a video about someone's story.
Yeah.
Some random person DM'd me and he's like, I just want to say thank you for posting that. Like that, hearing what he just said to me, what he just said to you was the most inspirational thing I needed to hear right now. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
what? I was like, wow, like like even if it's just one person that sees
Yeah.
it, that's all
Yeah,
that matters.
that's all you we live in. I know it's like likes and comments. It you have to like it, right?
Yep.
If someone in 100 years, if someone's like, "Can I see your Instagram profile?" I mean, hopefully that's not be like,
Yeah.
"Well, so all right, so you're in a bikini there. That's okay. Well, what are you doing here?" "Oh, I'm tanning." "Okay." "You're at a nightclub." It's like,
Yeah.
congratulations. Like you know what I mean? Like what? But if someone you you were in Grown Ups too, and you're telling your story about how you got that, dude. Because of that post, I auditioned for Grown Ups 3 for Grown Ups
Yeah.
3, and I got so yeah. I feel like everyone should look at their Instagram thing. Be like, why did I pick to post my haircut? Like it's so funny. I
Yeah.
oftentimes I go, what's for them? They want to go, "You're so hot, you're so beautiful," but that's empty.
Yep.
It should be for other people. Service. It's all service.
What legacy do you want to leave as an actor?
Great. I think it goes back to inspiring people to be unapologetic with what you want to do, regardless of acting, whatever you want to do. Again, I'm from East Greenwich. No one I know did what I did, or is doing like I don't come home and I'm like, "How was your audition? How was?" They're like, "What's an audition?" Like I you can come from anywhere, any place. If it's in your heart and it's something that you feel connected to, you got to do it for you. Again, no acting.
Yep.
Don't act like I'm on set. Love me. Like it should do what you want to do for you, and that is how you will serve the world. Like that's not for other people.
So the one thing I always think about is we're from the smallest state.
Yep.
And I always tell people when I start this podcast, I'm like, I know 7 NFL players now. Like I text them on a regular basis. I did 2 USA Olympic bobsledders. Like I text them on a regular basis. And I'm just a kid from Rhode Island. Like they don't
Yeah.
have to talk to me, but it's their story that resonates with me. So it's cool to see.
That, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's good. That's so beautiful. I agree, man. There's no all the things that I've gone through, any acting success, opportunities, having the courage to do it, having the courage to hit send, and that's essentially what it is. It's like you hit send and you see what happens.
Yep.
You become the best actor you can be. How do you do that? Live life, experience things, be with children. Children are the best actors there are because they're not fake.
Mhm.
They never act. They're upset. It's real.
Yep.
They're mad. They're happy. They're silly. Children you can learn. I learned so much from children. So
That's
much.
really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that is all I had for this episode.
All right.
Um, so I will end this recording.